Imagine spending decades working tirelessly, dreaming of a relaxing retirement. But what if the harsh reality of retirement income shatters those dreams? For many, retirement is a time of uncertainty, financial stress, and compromised lifestyles. Millions of seniors struggle to make ends meet, relying on meager Social Security checks and sacrificing their golden years to poverty. Today, we're exposing the shocking truth about average retirement income at 65. From startling statistics to expert insights, we'll reveal the harsh realities and surprising solutions to securing a comfortable post-work life. Get ready to confront the reality and take control of your financial future. In today's video, we're going to tackle 3 important questions related to retirement finances. First, we'll look at what the typical expenses are for people during retirement. This includes everything from housing costs and healthcare to daily living expenses and leisure activities. Understanding these costs can help you better prepare for your own retirement budget. Second, we'll discuss the average income that retirees receive. This will include sources like Social Security, pensions, and withdrawals from savings or investment accounts. Knowing what most retirees earn can give you a clearer picture of what you might expect in your own retirement. Finally, we'll consider whether you should be worried about having enough income during retirement. We'll discuss the factors that can affect your financial security, including rising costs and unexpected expenses. By the end of the video, you'll have a better understanding of retirement income and expenses, helping you feel more confident in your planning for the future. Even though retirement savings are at their highest levels ever, most retirees in the U.S. won't just rely on their investment accounts to sustain themselves during retirement. Instead, they will need to use a mix of Social Security, possibly a pension, and some withdrawals from their savings and investments. This leads to an important question. What is the average income for retirees in America? To answer this, I'll refer to data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the Census Bureau, and Gallup. However, it's worth noting that this data doesn't specifically focus on retirees, but instead categorizes people by age. For a rough estimate of retirement income, I'll be looking at data for people aged 65 and older. Not everyone over 65 is retired, so it's not a perfect representation, but it's a close enough approximation. Interestingly, the data reveals that people are working longer, either because they want to or because they have to. For example, in 2007, about 41% of people aged 60 to 64 had already retired, but that percentage has since dropped significantly to 32%. Even among those 65 and older, the share of retirees has decreased from 76% to 70%. Clearly, more people are staying in the workforce longer. Despite this, analyzing financial data for those over 65 remains the best approach for understanding the income and expenses of retirees. So let's begin by examining the expense side of the picture. In 2020, the average retiree spent about $47,503 a year. By 2022, that number jumped significantly to $57,810, a 22% increase in just 2 years. For comparison, people under 65 saw their expenses go up by 19%, rising from $66,000 to nearly $79,000. This sharp rise in costs shows how inflation can hit retirees particularly hard. That's why protecting against inflation is a major focus when creating retirement plans. When I test these plans, inflation consistently emerges as one of the biggest risks, especially since many retirees need their savings to last over 30 years. It's almost certain that during those decades, retirees will face periods of unexpected inflation. Retirees typically spend the most on housing, transportation, healthcare, and food. Even if your mortgage is paid off, housing costs don't disappear. Many retirees still face rising property taxes, high insurance premiums, and ongoing maintenance expenses that can strain their budgets. Overall, retiree expenses have seen a big increase in recent years due to inflation. This highlights the importance of managing these rising costs effectively. Now let's shift our focus to look at the average income for retirees. According to the Census Bureau and the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average annual income for U.S. adults aged 65 and older is about $75,000. However, averages can be misleading because they are often boosted by the income of a small number of wealthy retirees. A more realistic measure is the median income, which shows the middle point in the data and gives a better idea of what most retirees earn. The median retirement income is $50,200. When broken down monthly, the average retirement income is $6,250, while the median is $4,910 per month. This income comes from various sources, including Social Security, withdrawals from investments, pensions, annuities, rental income, and even part-time jobs. For those curious about Social Security, the average monthly benefit in 2024 will be $1,970, with a maximum of $3,822 for those who claim at their full retirement age. For most retirees, Social Security makes up about 40 to 45% of their total retirement income. This is consistent with what I observe in my clients, where Social Security covers around 35 to 45% of their income, with the remainder coming from investments, pensions, and annuities. Let's talk about another important source of retirement income: pensions and annuities. While I couldn't find the average amounts, I did come across the median benefits for different types of pensions, which offer a clearer picture of what most people receive. For private pensions and annuities, the median annual benefit is $10,788. Private sector pensions tend to be lower compared to public sector pensions and are often not adjusted for inflation, which can reduce their value over time. The median benefit for federal government pensions is $27,600 per year, while for state and local government pensions, it's $26,620 annually. These figures represent the typical annual payouts for those receiving a pension or annuity. However, for most people, especially those watching this, Social Security and pensions won't be the main sources of retirement income. Instead, most of your income will come from your investment portfolio. One of the critical decisions in retirement is determining your withdrawal rate, the percentage of your investments you'll take out each year. There's a lot of conflicting advice on this, especially for those managing their own investments. Many people think the 4% rule, which suggests withdrawing 4% of your portfolio each year, is a standard to follow. But that's not always the case. Depending on your situation, you might need to withdraw less or could safely take out more. For example, a well-diversified factor-weighted portfolio might support higher withdrawals historically, but the key is to decide what works best for your unique circumstances. Some retirees might opt to withdraw more in the early years of retirement, perhaps starting with a rate as high as 8 to 10%, and then reduce it to 2 to 3% later on. This approach can help delay claiming Social Security or pension benefits, potentially increasing your income in the long run. A flat 4% withdrawal rate isn't always the best strategy, and a more flexible or dynamic approach might better suit your needs. There are several strategies for managing retirement income, and one company called Income Labs specializes in helping people understand these options. One approach is known as the guardrail strategy, which involves adjusting how much you withdraw based on market conditions. When the market is performing well, you might withdraw a larger percentage, potentially more than 4%. Conversely, if the market takes a downturn, you would reduce your spending and lower your withdrawals. Another method is the bucket strategy, which I find particularly effective. This involves setting aside a bucket of safe money to cover your living expenses for 2, 3, or even 4 years. By having this safety net, you can invest the rest of your portfolio more aggressively. This way, if the market declines, you won't have to sell your investments at a loss to cover your expenses, which helps reduce the risk of negative impacts from the sequence of returns. A common mistake many people make is not realizing the difference between investing to grow their wealth and investing for retirement. Simple decisions, like which account to withdraw from first, can significantly affect your financial situation. Managing the sequence of returns risk, understanding how the timing of your withdrawals can impact your portfolio, is crucial. As you plan for retirement, it's important to consider several factors. You need to decide where to pull your money from first, how to invest those funds, and how to balance risk. You want to take enough risk to protect against future inflation, but not so much that you jeopardize your retirement savings. Each of these considerations plays a vital role in ensuring that your retirement income lasts throughout your life. A common question I often hear is, will I have enough income in retirement? This question is difficult to answer because it depends on how you manage your income and expenses during retirement. Just like in your working years, financial management remains critical. However, it's important to recognize that the median income for most retirees is actually lower than their average spending. This disparity highlights a significant risk that retirees face regarding their financial stability. Inflation has made this issue even more concerning. For example, research from the Pew Forum suggests that by the year 2040, around 32 million households headed by retirees will have annual incomes below $75,000, leading to an average shortfall of $7,000. This means that many retirees may struggle to cover their living expenses. Additionally, the National Council on Aging has found that 45% of Americans aged 60 and older do not earn enough to meet their basic needs. Alarmingly, 80% of households in this age group are either experiencing financial difficulties or feeling financially insecure. This situation raises red flags for anyone nearing retirement. Despite these challenges, I have discovered that with careful and thoughtful planning, most people can manage their finances effectively and enjoy a comfortable retirement. The key is to establish a solid financial plan that outlines your income sources, expenses, and investment strategies. Sticking to that plan is just as important as it helps you adapt to changing circumstances and avoid potential pitfalls. To prepare for retirement effectively, there are 5 key numbers you should know that can help determine whether you're financially ready to retire. These figures include your projected retirement expenses, expected income sources, savings balance, withdrawal rate, and anticipated healthcare costs. Understanding these numbers will give you a clearer picture of your financial situation and help you make informed decisions about your retirement.